Welcome to Conversations with the Smith Family. I'm Doug Taylor, the CEO of the Smith Family, and through these conversations, we look at work across Australia that's helping all young people change their future through the power of education. So this is our last episode for the year, and we wanted to end on a special note by talking to a parent. We know at the Smith Family that great educational outcomes come through fantastic partnerships between children and parents and teachers and the wider community. And so I'm really excited today to be talking to Kelly. Kelly's the mother of Maddie and Braden, two children on our Learning for Life program. Everyone we know is feeling the pressures of cost of living at the moment, but of course not all of us are feeling that equally, and particularly challenging for families on lower incomes. And of course at the Smith Family, that's who we're here to support. And just recently, we surveyed over 2,500 of the families that we support, and nearly 60% of those parents and carers told us that they were really struggling to make ends meet and affording educational essentials. And that's even with the support of the Smith Family. So it is a challenging time, and I'm really grateful, Kelly, that you're able to join us today to give us a bit of a sense as to what these challenges really are like for many families. So Kelly, when we have these conversations, we always start off with this question, which is, what's your most memorable education moment that stayed with you over the years?
I went through schooling when it was like 1988, and we had the bicentenary year, and that was something that I always talk about. And the little coins that we got at school that we got to keep as, little tokens. But definitely would have to be the school camp. It was team building and uh, building friendships and learning all these different sort of like life skills. And it was a week full of all these different activities. It was great.
That's fantastic. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about similar experiences that I had. And I think it really reminds us that, education's about setting young people up for life. And all those experiences in the classroom, outside the classroom, are incredibly important. So, Kelly, thank you. That's some very vivid memories there, and I remember that being at school in the bicentenary as well. So,
Yes, and I still got the coin, and
I do as
like,
well.
great.
Kelly, I mentioned before the cost of living pressures, which all Australians know about, and it's certainly borne out when we survey our parents and carers, and when our team members are talking to so many parents. And I'm wondering if you could just share what you're comfortable to share about what that has meant for you and your family at this time.
I've got a big sort of story as well. I've got a child who's, I call him my alphabetical child. So he's also got a lot of issues that go on outside of school, but just finding the cost to do that as well, it's hard. So having the extra cost of education, and we had a school camp, and both of the children are year 5 and 6. So it was year 5 and 6 going to school camp, and school camp alone was $350 each. I was like, where am I going to find the money for this? Just even having the deposit money, having the help through the Smith Family had that. But the extra little things throughout the year, the P&C might run like little lunch days, and they're $5 each. All of a sudden now that's $10, and that's $10 out of the budget that you don't have at home, or that's $10 out of the grocery bill, and things. It's those little things, discos that they run, and fundraisers. You feel obligated that you need to put money into buying chocolates, or the little diaries that they draw pictures and things on. That all adds up, and it's when you've got other things outside of the school and education itself, it's hard. And I'm just so grateful that I've been able to have the children sponsored, and I have that money sitting there for that purpose. I don't use it for anything else. It sits in a different bank, and it's there so I can pull out and go, right, I've got this, or I've got that. And that's where the little $5 come from. And the hidden things that you don't actually think of. Like now, I'm not even thinking about next year, but I know I'm going to need that money, because you've got that extra expenses like school camp, new uniforms, new shoes. Yeah, especially coming into Christmas. Like what?
Absolutely. All those things. And I think what we're so conscious of, Kelly, is obviously there's all those school related expenses affording them, but groceries are more expensive. Rent is more expensive. We know that impacts so many of our families in having to move. So many of our families are more mobile now, trying to find accommodation that they can afford, and that's disruptive. Again, all these things have knock-on impacts, don't they?
And I'm in the process of that at the moment. I've just been given 90 days on a no ground eviction, which isn't not my fault. So I really respect the home that I live in, and rent will always come first as long as I've got a roof over my head. But now I'm looking, going, oh my God, I've got 90 days and I know I can only afford X amount of dollars. How am I going to find something that is at least 200 above that budget? What am I going to do? So add this time of year, add Christmas on top of that, a year 6 child who's going to high school next year with extra fees again, and a child who needs therapy and things that I don't get help with, like NDIS or anything like that. So that's all coming out of my own as well. So very stressful.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, and I can imagine, stressful's the word, and you're Maddie and Rain are very lucky to have you as a mum. You can see that you're incredibly diligent in terms of how you use your funds and make them stretch and do all you can to support your children. Credit to you for really kind of working through all of those things. Kelly, it's been a great privilege for us to support you and Braden and Maddie and other families. And obviously the financial supports are important. We've obviously got to go family partnership coordinators. We run a raft of programs in schools. Can you tell us about those types of supports and even the supports that you might get from other types of organisations and how they can help, and even what you might need more of in terms of supporting Maddie and Braden with their education?
I have just signed up to a program that you got running, the Saver Plus, I think it's called.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
But that was literally only at the beginning of the week. I did see it on our little portal and I was looking forward and hoping that it was coming back again. So, because I missed out on it last year. So for this year. So I'm like, yep, I wanted to get onto that. But definitely having somebody there as a mentor for financial budgeting and things. Sometimes I feel like it gets overwhelming, and being a single parent, so it means it's only just me dealing with it all at home. I feel like I'm just sort of guiding through. Like I'm just going, yeah, whatever happens, just go with it. Where I'd like to have that plan, and having somebody sit with you, it's good to have it like a different outlook on it and putting it into like a spreadsheet or a diary or something, definitely having that extra help. And I know there is Salvation Army, who I've reached out to only a few weeks ago for help with voucher for food, because it was a really tough couple of weeks and I had rego and insurance and everything all came out all at once. But having mentors, I think, is a big thing. And I look at the Smith family as a mentor, and there is different programs, and not just mentoring me, but mentoring the children as well. And when I look at like mentoring, it's almost like having another teacher or sister or sibling. And one of the other programs that the kids have both got are the Literacy Pro, and I think there was a math one that both the kids have got. So that's also helping them with schooling, because I can't afford tutoring. I can't go to a private tutor to get them to have help. So they'll jump on and they'll do these.
Great insights, Kelly. And look, again, credit to you. You're taking up all the opportunities you can, and that's fantastic. Saver Plus is a great program, and I love the way you kind of frame the nature of the supports. And we always talk about it's so important to have financial support, to access to programs, but also a community of supports, families and organisations and the like. And, it's our real privilege to be able to do that in a small way and supporting you. And it's great that you're accessing other programs. Kelly, tell us a bit about your aspiration for Maddie and Braden for their education and their future. What's your kind of hope and for them going forward?
I want their schooling to be memorable. I don't want it to be something I can't do mum doesn't have the money or something like that. Going through high school, both my mum and dad are still together, but mum didn't work. She was really riddled with arthritis, so she couldn't work. And dad ended up having issues with his own business going bankrupt, and then he had injuries, and he was then on work cover. And so going through high school, I don't remember doing a lot of things, and it was not having the same uniform. And a lot of the schools have the logo, and I was getting a shirt through Best and West and just a plain white polo shirt, and because I couldn't afford to do those sorts of things, or I couldn't afford to do certain electives when it was going into year 9 and 10 because mum and dad, once again, didn't have that extra money to do those things. Even outside of school, I couldn't go and do rep netball. I was a really good netball player. I couldn't do the rep netball because they didn't have the money for the extra fees and uniforms. So I look back at my childhood, and as much as it was a great childhood and I was in a very loving family, and there was no dramas, it was a beautiful, loving family that could only do what they could do. And I sort of don't also want the children not having that, and I'll always try and make sure I go without for them to make sure they have a beautiful upbringing and memories through school and outside of school. So, it's important to me that it's more about their mental health as well. Like I want them to not be bullied at school because they couldn't do it, or be bullied because they don't have the uniform. I just want them to have a memorable education, schooling. It's not just about, reading and writing when going to school, but it's also about the mental side of things, the mental health of the kids going through. And if I can give them that $5 to go to the school disco because they don't really want to miss out, that's what I want for them.
Yeah, wow. Can really hear the kind of passion there, Kelly, for your kids and wanting the absolute best for them. And Maddie and Braden are very lucky to have you as a mum, given you've got that incredible commitment to them and their future and their education. And given that, Kelly, I'm wondering what you would say to other parents. We support 67,000 students on our Learning for Life program. Lots of parents and carers have got the same aspiration that you've got for your kids. What's your message to them, particularly at this really tough time with cost of living pressures?
Reach out, communicate, be strong. Times are tough. There is lots of help out there. If you're feeling down and out, get on the phone, pick up the phones. Lifeline, Beyond Blue, all those type of places. I've done it. I've rang Parents Helpline because I've had my son having meltdowns, and it's hard because you've got the extra pressure behind going on financially, groceries, rands, bills, cars, whatever, and then you've got him having a meltdown, and then it's all just bottling up. Before it gets to that point, communicate with somebody, ring a friend, reach out. Facebook's got a lot of community support pages as well. Definitely stay strong because we can only do what we can do.
Look, thank you. You're incredible inspiration, and you're so generous and sharing a bit about your story today. I really hope that this gives some insights into other for wider Australian families, into, the real challenges, but also how incredibly committed parents and carers are to supporting their child's education. And you've just brought that to life beautifully today, Kelly. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your time with us today. And thank you for joining us for Conversations with the Smith Family. If you'd like to know more about the work of the Smith family and hear more about the students we support and the parents and carers that we're working alongside, jump on to the smithfamily.com.au.